find out. Okay, yes.
2, 1.
Okay, we don't write ones. What type is it? Synthesis. Good. Okay, somebody else for B. Yes, ma'am. 4, 3, 2, 6. And type. Single displacement. Anybody disagree? Okay, good. C. Who's brave enough to do C? Yes, ma'am. Oh, 2NH3. Okay, what type? Synthesis. Okay. If anybody disagrees, make sure you're saying so. D. Who's going to be brave and tell me D? Okay, Sam?
2, 6, 2, 3.
2, 3. Okay, what type? Say it louder. Single displacement. Good. I can't write today. Okay. All right, who's got E? Come on, somebody hasn't volunteered yet. Yes. Blank and then 2. What type? Decomposition. There you go. We've got one thing and we're heading to 2. I'm just going to do decomp because I'm having issues with spelling today. Okay, what about F? Yes.
2, then 2, 3.
2 and then 2, 3. What type? Decomp. Good. Okay, what about the last one, G? Just a 3 on the CO2, is that right? Okay, what type? Decomposition. I got one thing and it's falling apart. Okay, so we're going to use this block of balanced equations for the rest of the worksheet. Okay, I'm going to do one with you to help your brain hopefully get back in gear. Okay, you do have your notes from when we learned how to do this. I'm not going to be able to see the top in order for me to see the questions, so we're going to have you make sure you're looking back and forth. So this one's pretty easy because we're just going from moles to moles. Remember, as I'm reading, I always like to go and say, okay, how many moles of water per moles of oxygen? And I'm using A. Okay, so I start with, it says per mole of oxygen. So what do I start with? How many? How many? 1. 1 mole of what? Oxygen. So 1 mole of O2. When it says per mole of oxygen, that means 1, right? Okay. So then I look up at the top. I want to get rid of oxygen. In A, what's in front of oxygen? On A, clear up here, what's in front of oxygen? 1. There's nothing, but it's a 1. So we're going to put 1 mole on the bottom because we want to be able to cross out moles of oxygen. Remember that? Okay. What goes on the top? What am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to water, right? And in front of the water in A, there's a 2. So I put 2 moles of, of H2O. I was stuck on O2. So my answer is going to be what? 2. 2 moles of H2O. Circle or square your answer. Okay? Now, remember, if you start with grams, what do you have to do first? Convert it into moles. And when I go from grams to moles, the moles are always 1. When I go from moles to moles, that's when I use the equation. Okay? So I'm trying to remind you what things you need to remember when you do a longer conversion. This one was just mole to mole. When I do mole to mole, I use the equation. When I start with grams, I've got to convert to moles first. How do I do that? I use the mole map, so I have to add up from the periodic table what that mass of 1 mole is. Okay, the mass of the mole will go on the bottom and 1 mole will go on the top. Then I can go to the equation to go from moles of one thing to moles of something else. Then if they want me to go back to grams, then I use 1 mole of whatever I'm trying to get back to and the mass on the top. Okay, I'm going to wander around and help you as you need. This is what we're doing today. This is it. So once you get it done, turn it in. Okay?